Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. A man charged with the murder of a Corning woman is scheduled to appear in Corning City Court tomorrow. Brett Hefner is charged with second-degree murder in the death of 26-year-old Kelly Collins. Authorities say Hefner attacked Collins in her Stewart Park apartment early Friday morning. Collins leaves behind 2 young children. To support the family in their time of grief, donations can be made to a GoFundMe through the link on your screen. The family has asked for privacy during this time. The Elmira community is coming together to voice their concerns about violence in the Southern Tier. The Say No to Violence Unity in the Community rally will be held tomorrow at Wisner Park from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. For more information about the event, contact the numbers on your screen. Swimming in lakes and rivers is a popular summer pastime, but it can also be dangerous. Health officials shut down 2 popular swimming spots in Yates County. Our Josh Feldberg has more on a harmful substance that can be found in the water.
Harmful algal blooms are a growing problem in every state in the country. These algal blooms occur when algae or bacteria grow rapidly in clumps that result in a colored scum on the water's surface. Humans, animals, and the environment can all have harmful reactions when exposed to the blooms. The Yates County Health Department shut down Indian pines and red jacket swim areas in Penn Yan due to the harmful algal blooms growing in these areas. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, the algal blooms produce toxins that can kill fish, mammals, birds, and can cause humans illness or even death. Humans can be exposed to the toxins in 3 ways: swallowing bloom water, direct skin contact, or even by breathing the toxins in the air. According to the New York Department of Health, symptoms of the blooms include nausea, eye and throat irritation, difficulty breathing, and allergic reactions. The department recommends visiting a healthcare provider if you are experiencing any of these symptoms.
While most swimming spots are safe from these harmful algal blooms, it's important to know what to look for. Signs of the algal blooms include strongly colored water, paint-like appearance in the water, or mats or scum floating on top of the water.
For more information on the harmful algal blooms, you can consult the New York Department of Environmental Conservation. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Corning.
The deadline for New Yorkers to switch their political party affiliation before the primary is this week. State Supreme Court Justice Patrick McAllister has moved the deadline to Thursday. The new deadline is now before the early voter period. Anyone who wishes to change parties can do so on the DMV website or download a form on the Board of Elections website and mail it in. Today, Governor Kathy Hochul signed legislation to make housing more affordable for New Yorkers as inflation and rising costs continue to cause challenges. Big Fox's Maggie Hall breaks down this new legislation.
But life is hard as it is. And then we start seeing the cost of living escalate.
Part of Governor Hochul's newest legislation is the possibility of tax exemption for New York seniors over 65.
And it is tough. It's tough on everybody, but especially our seniors who can't say that I now have another way to bring in money.
Local governments will now have the opportunity to raise the tax exemption minimum for homeowners up to $50,000. This will not only apply to seniors, but individuals with disabilities as well. The Governor's Restore program will also help seniors stay in their homes.
So we're going to be providing financial resources for low and moderate income senior citizen homeowners so they can afford to do this, help with housing emergencies.
Finally, the Governor's legislation will additionally assist new homeowners.
The third bill we have will extend the property tax exemptions for first-time home buyers all the way through 2028 instead of having it expire.
These 3 bills are to help New Yorkers secure affordable housing during this time of rising costs. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
Senate Democrats made good on their promise to pass a $740 billion tax and spending bill this weekend. It could land on the president's desk for a signature this week and deliver the party a much-needed win. Madeline Rivera is in Washington with the latest.
President Biden is praising Senate Democrats after passing their sweeping healthcare tax and climate bill. The package is less ambitious than the president's Build Back Better agenda. Still, the moment marks a massive win for the president and his party.
There's a whole range of things that are really game changers for ordinary folks.
The bill, called the Inflation Reduction Act, spends more than $300 billion on energy and climate, a figure that's being touted as the largest climate investment in U.S. history. It allows Medicare to negotiate prescription drug costs, and it includes a 15% minimum tax on some large corporations. But the approval process was far from smooth. Senator Bernie Sanders argued the bill doesn't go far enough to help working families.
Prices are going down, but they're still a lot higher than they were a year ago, 2 years ago.
After a marathon session that lasted through Saturday night into Sunday, Democrats stuck together, with Vice President Kamala Harris casting the tie-breaking vote in the evenly split Senate.
Every member of my caucus is elated about what happened because we've changed the world.
However, the legislation faces outstanding questions. Even some Democrats admit it probably won't fix inflation for another year or two, despite its name.
We may not see huge impacts on inflation in the first or second year.
The House is expected to return Friday to vote on the package, but it's unclear if its passage will boost vulnerable Democrats who are facing political headwinds this November. In Washington, Malda Rivera, Fox News.
Fair season continues to roll through the Twin Tiers. The Tioga County Fair kicks off Tuesday night and continues through the 13th. The fair is $15 for an all-inclusive experience, including rides, parking, and grandstand entertainment. Highlighted entertainment for the fair includes a demolition derby, a rodeo, lumberjack show, and professional wrestling. All the fun can be found at the Tioga County Fairgrounds in Owego. The Utica Zoo has welcomed a new addition to their zebra family. Zecora, the Hartman Mountain zebra, gave birth to a baby girl. The zoo announced that the birth went smoothly and the pair are under the watchful eye of their caregivers. The zoo's deputy director says that once they're confident the baby zebra is up to strength and can navigate its habitat, they'll share her with zoo visitors. Your complete workweek forecast is next. Plus this.
Just because you find them in the wild doesn't mean they belong there. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a look at the unique solutions aimed at combating invasive pythons invading the U.S. That's coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox.
After what's seeming to be a bubble over Elmira and Corning missing out on rain chances last month, we brought in some better accumulation over the weekend. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Triplett, and from that ½ inch on Thursday, another1/4 inch on Saturday, and the rainfall that's pushing its way on through over the next few days, that will give us some good accumulation. At least those 2 days was able to give us upwards of 0.8 of an inch. Now trending into the overnight forecast, definitely on a drying side, there is going to be this small pocket of some quiet conditions, maybe a few stray showers, with temperatures getting a little cooler than the last few days through the overnight, but the coolest of the air is going to come later this week. As we set up into our Tuesday forecast, note you still need that umbrella though. Although we're drying into the overnight, we see that uptick in the probability of precipitation from the mid-morning into the early afternoon, but not expecting anything widespread or heavy at all, mainly just going to be some light showers that might give us another 1/10 of an inch or so. The conditions that you'll see that are going to be changing as we head into our Tuesday and Wednesday forecast will be the temperatures will be not as warm. Now there is going to be still enough moisture in the air to give us some of those maybe just a degree or two warmer humidity values, as well as the moisture needed for some rainfall, but we will look at the cooler conditions later in the week behind that weak cold front. Now your Tuesday is going to stay cloudy. By Wednesday you might be able to see some sunshine before that cold front tries to work its way into our Thursday forecast, which will shake out a few more showers possible for the state, but we'll also be dealing with the cooler air that is going to be filling in behind it. it. Now, the frontal system that continues to affect much of New York for our Monday and into our Tuesday will diminish through the overnight. There is still some of that shower and thunderstorm activity into the morning hours and then into the early afternoon. But as mentioned, very light. Nothing that's looking overall organized or widespread, but do stay a little bit cloudier with some mist possible as well as some fog possible through the Finger Lake region. But when we look at the humidity values, the max dew point that we'll see over the next 3 days continues to fall. 73 on Tuesday, and that's going to be in those early morning hours when we still see some of that instability ahead of that frontal system. But then it drops, and not only does it drop, but that cold front on Thursday allows for dew points to fall even into the 50s Friday and Saturday. So very, very dry air mass, which will give us some drier conditions. So Tuesday, high temperatures will climb to about 85 into Elmira, 76 into Wayland. Even seeing that portions of Pennsylvania will be into those lower 80s. So just around average for this time of the year. Maybe a little bit of stickiness possible, especially in those morning hours. You'll have that thick humidity air, but then we'll have those drier conditions. Again, temperatures still seasonal, and then the change comes on Thursday with that weak cold front. Might shake out a shower, a thunderstorm. Overall instability looks on the weaker side. We still climb to that 85-degree marker, but then look at these temperatures, 70s into the weekend under some bright sunshine Friday and Saturday. Slight uptick into the 80s, but still below average even as we head into next week as we look to stay under some dry conditions.
Florida remains under siege from thousands of slithering invaders. Marion Rafferty has a look at the Burmese python's crippling effects across the Sunshine State, plus the unique competition now underway to try and bring an end to their destruction.
Imagine hunting something that can take down a fully grown alligator. Well, that's exactly what more than 800 people are doing as they venture through the Florida Everglades in search of Burmese pythons.
They are one of the 5 largest snakes in the world. When they're babies, they're very small, only 18 inches long, and they can grow to be over 18 feet long and weigh over 250 pounds.
It's all part of the 2022 Florida Python Challenge, an event aimed at combating the spread of this invasive species.
They are a huge problem and are probably in the middle of changing the entire ecosystem here in Florida.
According to the U.S. Geological Survey, more than 6,500 non-native species of plants and animals now call the United States their home. Burmese pythons are a prime example. The slithering giants originate from Southeast Asia, but biologists say they quickly dominated the Everglades after pet owners started releasing them, once the snakes got too big for them to handle.
It takes a python 3 years to get to be 10 feet long, and it takes 200 mammals and birds to get it there.
Now they're completely altering the Everglades' natural ecosystem, taking away food supplies from smaller reptiles and even targeting one of the area's top predators, the American alligator. And because large female snakes can lay about 100 eggs each year, the state of Florida is awarding cash prizes up to $2,500 to those who can capture and kill the most pythons. More than 17,000 pythons have been removed from the Everglades since 2000. The Python Challenge ends August 14th, but you can still register throughout the competition.
Another weekend of airport headaches in America. Pfizer spends billions to expand its business, and one of the nation's most beloved toy retailers is making a comeback. Cheryl Casone has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
Pfizer is expanding its rare diseases business. It's buying blood disorder drug maker Global Blood Therapeutics for an estimated $5.4 billion. This will allow the company to sell drugs to treat sickle cell diseases. The acquisition is just the latest in a string of deals for Pfizer, which is flush with cash following its COVID-19 vaccine sales. Japanese tech company SoftBank posting a $23.4 billion loss. The company's CEO blaming it on its decision to invest on a big scale. Losses were connected to the company's Vision Fund unit, which invests in technology companies, a sector that's been hit hard by global worries of inflation and rising interest rates. Another weekend of travel chaos at airports across America. According to FlightAware, more than 1,600 flights were canceled between Saturday and Sunday. More than 6,000 others were delayed. Chicago's O'Hare Airport saw the most cancellations and delays due to bad weather. And just in time for the holidays, Toys R Us is making a comeback. The retailer announcing it will be opening inside Macy's locations in 9 states. In-store locations will vary in size and will be ready by October. Toys R Us returned to Macy's after being acquired by WHP Global last March.
Still ahead, hundreds of mothers gathering together to help break the stigma surrounding breastfeeding. That story and more coming up. Well, Sunday was National Purple Heart Day, where the nation comes together to honor the men and women wounded in battle and who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Sarah Barker has more on a ceremony in San Diego over the weekend.
No one wants a Purple Heart.
Purple Heart Day, created to remember and honor the men and women who were wounded or killed while serving our country.
It's a bittersweet day because you know you've been wounded, you know everyone's been wounded here. We've all understand the feeling, but we're all here to socialize together, to have that camaraderie, knowing that we've all sacrificed for this nation.
Sunday, the local chapter of the Military Order of the Purple Heart held its first ceremony since the pandemic and remembered recipients who passed away since their last ceremony in 2019.
Yeah, Purple Heart Day is something that really hits home.
It's a day 1.8 million recipients are honored, and each service member remembers the day that led to that recognition.
So on August 20th, 2004, I was in Ramadi, Iraq. An enemy mortar fire started coming in, bombing our base, getting my Marines ready to go. One last mortar landed short right in between the barrier that was supposed to protect us and our hooch, and it exploded, and shrapnel went into my left leg and my left ankle.
Paul Aguirre says Purple Heart Day means not only reflecting on his Purple Heart, but also his friends no longer here to receive the recognition.
That was June 1970. We've been there 6 months. Me and my friend, his name was Cortez. Next thing you know, this big explosion goes off. Part of that bomb hits my friend, hits him on the chest, and we were both sitting together. He didn't make it, but from that day on, I think of him.
He says it's an honor few earn.
We're honored to be here for our fallen soldiers.
But no one wants.
That's what it means.
The Purple Heart is the oldest military award still given out to service members today. Behind me here in Balboa Park is a memorial plaque to honor Purple Heart recipients where you can come pay your respects year-round.
Hundreds of mothers in part of Arizona gathered over the weekend to help break the stigma surrounding breastfeeding. Irene Snyder has more.
Hello. No one ever said raising kids was easy. And when these moms face criticism for breastfeeding, it makes things all that much harder.
There's always been like a no-no around breastfeeding in the last few years, and now it's becoming more, bringing back the awareness to that. We're trying to make sure that the stigma against it is no longer part of that.
Alicia Atkins is on a mission to make sure no mom feels alone or stigmatized for feeding her child in public. She and her group, Gasp Breastfeeding, hosted an event in Chandler this weekend for World Breastfeeding Month. More than 350 nursing moms and their kids showed up.
I love seeing all the moms. I love seeing all the kids and seeing everybody happy and everyone supporting each other and just getting along.
I love seeing the moms and the support. She's just brought a lot of people out of the community, and they just come together and are there for each other and help each other latch and help each other through the hard times.
One of those hard times came earlier this year during the baby formula shortage. Many of these nursing moms stepped up to help those who couldn't nurse.
A lot of these moms that are here today stepped up immediately and either started relactating or just pumped extra and donated to hundreds of moms across Arizona. So the moms here that you see today donated thousands and thousands of ounces to the moms that were in need, the babies that were hungry.
Because keeping those kids happy and well fed is what moms do.
I've been breastfeeding for 9 years consecutively. This is my 5th baby. And I will say that before this event, I was still very shy to nurse in public, but being here and seeing all these women time after time come together in the heat and everything, and just we're all like a community of strong, empowered women doing what nature intended.
Well, stay with us. We'll have more after the break. And as always, we're going to leave you with the smileys, hopefully tonight. Get a load of this. While many of us dream of winning a lottery, one woman says she was able to win the lottery thanks to a dream. A 68-year-old woman from Cockeysville, Maryland, says she broke her normal pattern of using numbers from her own dreams to play Pick 3, Pick 4, and Pick 5. This time, though, she used numbers from her sister's dream and won $25,000. Sounds like a good plan. Her sister dreamed of being on a bus with the number 23815. The woman who won says she couldn't believe she scored big after checking the numbers. The ticket was bought at a Food Lion store. I'm Harriet Wallace, and thank you so much for watching.